Welcome to the Cruising is Life podcast. Whether you're a seasoned cruiser or just starting out, we have something for everyone. So sit back, relax, and get ready to set sail with us on the Cruising is Life podcast.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Cruising is Life podcast after our week, or our little bye week that we had there. As Justin and I were on the Carnival Venezia, which is what we are here to talk about today, is our full review of the beautiful Carnival Venezia. That was, I gotta say, just like first, and I guess like right off the top of my head, I mean, that's got to be one of the best cruises I've been on in a while, like overall. But we'll get into like the smaller details. But I gotta say, it's gonna be a good review because that ship was really, really good.
Oh boy, buckle up, ladies and gents.
Yes, buckle up. It's much better than the Seashore was. Sorry, MSC.
No, you're not.
But anyways, though, we are joined by our normal co-host, Justin, who sailed with me. What's going on?
Nothing, just coming off the cruise high. It was a good one.
Yes. And then we're also joined by Dimitri, who was not there, but he will be asking us all the fun questions.
Indeed.
Yes. So I guess to go ahead and start it, just a quick background. We had a 7-day cruise on board Carnival Venezia. I almost said Costa, which I guess wouldn't have been wrong either. But it was a 7-day Eastern Caribbean cruise. And just a little background of the ship, of course. It's the Costa by Carnival, which is basically they took the Costa Venezia and the Firenze back 2 years ago, and they converted them, quote unquote, converted them into Carnival ships, changing venues and stuff like that. But we'll dive deeper into how that all played out. But overall, basically a Vista class ship that came over from Costa with a lot of Italian theming. But anyways, Dimitri, what do you got for us?
Alrighty, starting off. Where the heck did you guys go?
I'm right here. Oh,
Not what he asked.
I thought.
Oh boy!
I was
All
like-
right, thanks for coming tonight,
It's gonna
everybody.
be a long-
I was like,
my
did your window like crash or something? Like, what are you talking about?
I would say sorry, guys. It's Monday, but it's literally the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually at work I'm like, oh, it's Monday or my coffee hasn't kicked in yet. I can't make either of those excuses right now.
No, you can't. You're 0 for 2.
0 for 2, apparently. Jesus. Anyways, so yeah, we had, like I said earlier, we had a Eastern Caribbean cruise. So this went over to Grand Turk, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and St. Croix.
St. Croix.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice.
St. Croix was my first time going to St. Croix.
Mm-hmm.
Did you drink LaCroix in St. Croix?
We did not.
We did not.
Why not?
This is gonna be a
don't
dumb
know.
question. Dumb question. Is that where it's from?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Fantastic.
Interesting.
I think so. Wait, I'm going.
Yeah. That when we were pulling up to the island, I really kind of got that impression of like, oh yeah, I bet you they make the soda here.
First thing I thought of.
But yeah, St. Croix was very, very nice. It honestly, if you've been to St. Thomas, which I feel like is a much more common destination for a lot of ships, but it felt a lot like St. Thomas just because of how close they are as well. But it just had a little bit of a smaller vibe to it. I mean, we literally just like, we came out and all it was just little pop-up tents and we could walk around and do whatever.
I don't.
Could you see St. Thomas from St. Croix or no?
No. I don't know if you can like
I
a
don't know how
super clear
close they
day.
are. I mean, I know how close they are, but I don't know if it's like visually.
I mean, it's very close. We're still pretty close to Puerto Rico as well, but overall, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, St. Croix was super, super nice. All we really did there, and this is really all we really did in a lot of the ports, but we got off, kind of just got our pictures of the ships, walked around. I bought my lady a turtle. And but like we just like walked down the street, there's like a little beach, which is cool. You know, there's a little beach. You just walked about 2 minutes down the street and then you're there.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I want to go there eventually. It's on my list.
Yeah, it's super nice there. I really enjoyed it. I would like to go back for sure. It seems like Adventure of the Seas right now is like the only ship that's consistently going there.
Yes, I believe she is. Hey, does Rhapsody stop there
I think.
from San Juan?
I think so. She's the San Juan
Probably
ship.
occasionally.
Vision as well. Vision was doing that 12 night or whatever it was on, but I think
10 night, I
it's
think.
10 night, same thing.
From Fort Lauderdale.
No, is that a
Boston,
Baltimore?
or- yeah, Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a. They got on. Their cruise started like the day before ours. I guess they technically get off to. No, that wouldn't be today. It was like, I
A
guess
couple days ago.
yesterday maybe. I'm trying to do the math
Yeah,
in my head.
probably,
I ain't
I think
mathing.
yesterday.
Yesterday. That's crazy. But yeah, they had an extra. Basically, had a sea day while we were getting on, but then the 2 sea days getting down.
Yeah,
Uh,
but no, that's cool.
Yeah, after St. Croix, we went over to San Juan. So that was always cool. San Juan's never like a super like I don't know, I didn't really do anything there, but at the same time like it was nice to go there again because it had been so long. Seeing all like the really colorful buildings and all the the fort and everything like that. It was really nice to visit there again.
You guys didn't even go to the fort. Well, I'll yell at you guys in a little bit, but
Well,
continue.
Well, the
No,
thing
I don't wanna hear any
is,
opinions about it.
no. The
Continue
thing
talking.
is, we had a really crummy time slot there. We arrived at 7 a.m. and we left at 2 p.m. So we had like little time.
And we waited for the Pearl to dock at like 11:30.
Yeah, we waited for the Pearl to
We thought
dock.
we were going to see some nude people, and we didn't.
Yeah,
Wasted day.
if anybody had recently seen it, but the Pearl was on a nude cruise, and so as she came in, Justin of course had his camera
Upload.
zooming in. He's like, I hear, dang it.
No such thing occurred. And no such thing like that occurred.
I think there's a law where they have to put the clothes on for it.
Yeah,
It's a
I think so.
stupid law.
There was a big sign on the pool deck though. It said no photo zone, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, classic. I'd be furious. I mean, look, I know they're nude, but I got to make a video here.
The best was when you were doing that and you're like, what the heck? Like you yelled like what the heck really loud, and then like there was some guy that was just like walking behind us. He goes, what? He's like in it, looking over like what in the world is
He
going
wouldn't
on
get
over
it.
there.
He wouldn't understand.
It was funny though. But yeah, we just like we got up, watched ourselves come in, and then at that point we grabbed breakfast and just kind of sat there for a bit waiting for the Pearl to come in. But by the time Pearl came in, it was 11:30, almost 12. So we had an hour really before we needed to even get back on the ship. So we just didn't really have a whole lot of
Right.
time.
Mm.
But it was nice to visit the island again though, because again it had been a long time. It's been since Vista for me, and that was when the ship was new. So it's 2016. It's been a while.
Nice. Alrighty, and then the next stop was where?
Grand Turk. I was waiting to see if Justin was going to say anything. But yeah, next stop was Grand Turk. That was really nice to visit again. I think actually it wasn't the exact. I think instead of St. Croix, we went to St. Martin, but essentially we did like the same itinerary on Vista when I was on it, because we did that, and like the last time I was in Grand Turk was also on the Vista, and we were docked next to Sky Princess, which was really cool. It was interesting to see, be in Grand Turk, being the Carnival port, which, it's getting a little bit more diverse there when it comes to the different cruise lines, like Virgin, Royal Caribbean shows up every now and then like that. So it was cool to kind of see not only a Princess ship, but technically a Costa ship at the same time. So it wasn't even like two actual Carnival ships.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It's a very nice island, though. Not a whole lot has really changed from what it seemed like. Maybe a few more shops and stuff like that, but nothing
Say, I
overly
think
crazy.
somebody had said they had redone something.
Maybe
But I don't know.
it just looked a little bit more built up. Honestly, it looked a lot more residential than anything else. Off, away from the actual port itself. It looked much more residential than it used to.
People moving to Grand Turk.
I guess.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
the new Miami.
I would.
I
would.
would.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Would
there.
not during hurricane season, but would right now.
Would not. But yeah, it was very nice there. It was a very beautiful day. We had great weather the whole cruise, but we'll kind of go into that topic here in a second. But very nice day. Cool to see those two kind of unique ships for a port like that, given that it's a Carnival private destination technically.
Mhm.
So, walked around the port, saw the space stuff, like all the space capsules and the little figures and statues, all that type of thing. So we did that, just got pictures of the ships, walked around up and down the beach a little bit, and that was really about it. So as far as like excursions and like what we did in each port really wasn't overly exciting, but at the same time, like excursions are kind of the more expensive part of the entire cruise, to be honest with you. So sometimes we'll just, especially with it being a 7-day, it was better just to, we were really looking to explore the ship itself instead of some of the ports other than St. Croix, which there really wasn't anything in the first place. One thing I did find cool is that there was a lot of snorkeling they were offering, and there was even people like halfway up the pier snorkeling, which was crazy. Like they were getting pretty close to the ship. They were way out there. Whether or not they were supposed to be. Yeah. Oh, it was a big fish.
Yeah, big shark.
But
yeah.
they were way out there though. I was like, are they supposed to be out this far?
No.
But yeah, it was cool though. All the places we went though were very, very nice. Again, it was cool to go to St. Croix for the first time, and honestly, I kind of wish more cruise lines went there.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't. I mean, I know it only fits 2 ships, but yeah.
It used to be a really popular destination for a while there, and just nobody goes there anymore.
Yeah.
It's literally just those like 2 Vision class that are out of Baltimore or San Juan, and then you'll get the 8-night on Adventure that goes down there and then does all the other St. Thomas, St. Martin, San Juan type of ones. So I wish cruise lines would do that more often. Honestly, we weren't even supposed to go there in the first place. We were supposed to go to St. Thomas, but because of port loads being a little bit too high, that we had to get rerouted and switched around and stuff like that. So, I'll definitely take it because it was a great change, even though the lineups and we weren't able to see all the, we were supposed to be with Celebration a couple times, which bummer that we couldn't see it. But, it was cool to go somewhere that we haven't been before, because after 52 cruises that are, and most of them being in the Caribbean, you kind of been everywhere at this point. So, it was a cool change.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
And
then as far as sea days, it was 2 down to St. Croix and then 1 going back from Grand Turk for those interested.
No, that's a nice itinerary. I like it.
Yeah, I would 100% do it again. It was very nice.
The only thing I wish we had the 2 sea days going back. I felt like the first 2 going down there were kind of dragged out, Whereas if it's like the last 2, it's more you're like recovering from, at least for us, because we get up early to watch the ships and stuff. So that's the only thing I wish we did it in reverse, but it was fine.
Right. And I guess the thing with that too is that, the last sea day we didn't do a whole lot because we had already seen everything. So because we pretty much the first 2 days of the cruise being sea days, we did everything. So by the last, we had the first 2 days to go crazy, like checking out the ship and things like that, and then just everything else, seeing it the other 3 days that we were in port. So like that last sea day, we were, it was a nice relaxing day, but at the same time, it was like, all right, we've seen just about everything, we've done just about everything. Like there's not a whole lot going on. So I agree. Like if I had to change anything, it would have just been like we could have done it in a reverse order. That would have been cool. But at the same time, wouldn't make a difference.
Or how about they stop in Half Moon Cay on that second sea day and just leave early.
I would do that. I would like that because they can go. Even if you did it in reverse, you could get from Half Moon or even Princess Cay to Grand Turk the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I did it on Magic. We were in one of the two islands, and then we were in Grand Turk the next day with like a later arrival, which we had anyways. Coming from Puerto Rico, so we definitely could have had that extra port, but whatever.
Yeah, we did. We arrived 9 a.m. I scratched myself, so I keep looking down.
Something like that. But I think like when I was on Magic, we got in like at 10 or 11. But even then, once you're there, it's pretty close everywhere else.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Grand Turk is kind of like a midway point, really. It's like just on the south side of the Bahamas, but at the same time, like once you get to that south side of the Bahamas, then that's when you're starting to get into that territory of, all those, popular destinations over in the Eastern Caribbean, like San Juan, St. Thomas, St. Martin, all that. So, yeah.
But all right, I guess going into it, you guys left from Port Canaveral. How was Terminal 3? Have you both left from 3 before? Yes, because you went on Glory.
Yes. Way to answer the question for us.
And Epic.
Yeah, so I sailed out of there on Mardi Gras, and then he sailed out of there on Epic, but then we both did it together back on Glory in September, which was great.
Yeah.
No issues.
No issues at all. I mean, it was very smooth getting in and out of there.
Too many high priority people on the sailing for some reason.
So
there was a little bit of a wait.
That was the crazy part is, obviously there's always, Platinum and Diamond get priority, on everything, but there were literally over 1,000 Platinum guests on this cruise, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Which is like, I couldn't believe it. When they said there were over 1,000 Platinums, I was like, how?
They had to board them in 2 different groups.
Yes, we were a boarding group.
Platinum. We were like C or something, but we said forget that.
We were like B4, but we ended up sneaking in with A1 because I wasn't paying attention. And as I was getting up to the people who were checking the things, I realized I'm like, oh, and then I just went behind the person that wasn't paying attention. So I kind of.
But then the lady looked at mine and let me through. So like I don't know, but they were turning people away that like were going early. Yeah. So I don't. Maybe she just knew who I was. She's like, go ahead. I'm like, okay.
I doubt
no
that.
Big deal.
But, okay.
No big deal.
Yeah, overall, like the boarding process was very smooth, though. But yeah, there was a lot of Platinum people on board.
All right, interesting.
Which is quite surprising. Usually it's a pretty healthy mix, and Platinum is pretty high, especially Diamond too. It takes quite a bit to get to Platinum. So the fact that there were over 1,000 people that had, over 120 nights with Carnival is pretty impressive. Or what is it? Oh no, Platinum is 75, isn't it? 75, 80, something like that. But still, that's like a lot of. That's at least 10 7-day cruises. So like that's pretty impressive that there's that many people.
The only thing one thing that was nice about it was there was never anyone in the pools. There was never a line for the water slides. There was never a line for the ropes course. So all that stuff that you normally have to wait for, like on a busy sea day, we didn't have to worry about, which was nice. But then there were negatives to it. Everyone was up super early, so the buffet was packed as early as could be. It's not like you can get there early and get away with it. It was always packed. Getting back on the ships was a pain in the butt because whatever Carnival's doing, if they're telling people to take their stuff out of their pockets, whatever the case is, these older people had no idea what was going on. So like everyone, they'd go through, the thing would go off. They'd have to push them back. Take your phone out. They'd go through it, go off again. So like, we're just sitting there like, on the pier messing around because these people don't know what they're doing. So that was a downside.
I think half the issue is that like 75% of the passengers on board had knee replacements. So, it kept setting off the metal detectors. Sort of a joke, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if that was legit because it was quite a bit of an older crowd than I would expect, especially from a Carnival ship. Usually, you get a fun young party crowd on a Carnival ship.
Scooters,
that was
many walkers. It was kind of crazy.
too many walkers. Rachel Walker, what are you doing back there?
Rachel the Walker.
Exactly. I wish.
But okay, yeah, noted.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the typical carnival crowd.
And I
Not
don't.
at all.
It definitely was not. And I don't know if it was because of the ship or if it was just that particular sailing.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. It was very weird.
This, the carnival crowds can, obviously they vary, especially depending on the ship, location, and things like that. But, carnival has occasionally some rowdy passengers. It's usually a lot more party atmosphere, a lot more loud, maybe obnoxious or, not obnoxious, but, a little bit more of a rowdy crowd sometimes. So that was the complete opposite, though, of that. It was a very, very calm crowd.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Not that I have it. I mean, I never really mind when it comes to, the crowds on a ship. I mean, it obviously is going to, you get stuff like that on Royal Caribbean too. It just kind of depends on where you're at, where you're sailing from, the ship, things like that. But, I've never really had an issue with it. But yeah, I mean, yeah. It was a good crowd.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. You guys left out of Canaveral. How was that? How was the weather?
Cloudy and super foggy.
That was
I've never
such
seen that
a
before.
weird. Never seen that before, especially in the middle of the afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah, the fog was rolling in, but it was very shallow layers. So on the ship, it didn't look too bad. But from our friend Jerry, who was taking pictures, he could barely see the ship at all. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was incredible to see. I mean, yeah, we were up on deck 9, and it looked like, I mean, we could see just a thick layer of fog down below us, which was weird to go through, but we could see perfectly fine over it. Whereas, from the ground, barely see the ship like 5 feet in front of you. It was pretty interesting to see. I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, we were first out, and we were port side, so I was hoping Vista would go first, but she didn't. She pushed
Right
off.
after us.
Leave first, when she usually doesn't leave first.
Right. So she started coming off the pier as we were finishing our turn. Wonder went out after her. Fantasy followed, and then Seashore was after that. But we were all kind of in a line for about an hour, and then us and Wonder went on the outside of the Bahamas to go to, they were going to St. Martin, and we were going to St. Croix, and then the other ones hugged the coast. So in terms of like ship spotting, like on days at sea or at night, we didn't get very much. We took a very interesting route down there.
Didn't get anything,
except for on
really.
the last night. But we'll get
The
there.
last night we got like a couple, but nothing.
They were kind of far because we had already started going north.
We were, yeah.
But what are you going to do? We saw Adventure on the last sea day. That was pretty cool. She got really close.
Yes, she like crossed in front of us too.
Yeah. But Port Canaveral was good. No problems. It didn't rain. It was just cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fog. So it was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Alrighty, so obviously it was a 7-day cruise. So did you guys eat in the main dining room at all, or have any specialty dining?
So
yes.
So what we did, funny enough, the first night of the cruise, like on embarkation day, we'd already had a guy's burger and everything like that for dinner. But then probably, I mean, we had that for lunch, but we also had it for dinner. But then like 7:30 rolls around, and Justin's like, I kind of want the chocolate melting cake. And so we go down, we like made
this is true
thing. We got a time for, because we had the anytime, so we just checked in through the app, and basically it was like, oh yeah, your table's
really
ready.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice to do. We did that with the C-Day brunches as well, which we'll get into, but we did that with that. So we checked in through the app, and then it said, it'll ping your phone as soon as the table's ready. Then you go down to the dining room and say, hey, I've got my table number, and, they just walk you right over there. Instead of, especially like with stuff like that, like you always get stuck in like a line. You're going to be sitting outside, waiting for an hour or however long. And it's just like the worst. So being able to incorporate the app into that yeah.
So speaking of the app, how was the app? Is it the same Carnival app? Could you see the menu from the app?
Yep.
Yes, you
And
can
you could
access
see each
all
day,
your menus.
which is
You
The
could
what?
what?
So you
kind of
Justin?
like plan it.
What'd you say?
I said you could see, like, especially on the menus, you could see each day too. Like if
Oh,
you were
yeah,
like
yeah.
if it was Monday, like you could go see what was going to be served like on Wednesday. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like nice if you want to like plan out. Like that's how I knew the French onion soup was going to be that night. So we knew we were going to go there.
Bro ate 4
Yeah.
French onion soups.
2 for an appetizer and 2 for the main course.
Wow.
I should have
Very-
gotten 2 for dessert.
Should have,
That was so good.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I got the
he-
lava cakes. Don't worry.
Yeah.
He is
So, yeah.
okay, French onion king.
That that first night though, we pretty much we sat down and he's like, "Oh yeah, like, you know, what would you like to eat?" And we both go, "We actually just want dinner. Can we just get the melting cake?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course." So they brought us out our
Dessert
melting
now.
cakes. Dessert, please.
He's like, you don't want a main course? No.
Nope.
Dessert.
Nope, just the melting cake, please.
No, Enrique.
But yeah, we did that, and then the second day, so we actually got the hibachi at Bonsai for lunch on the second day. That was that's got to be some of the best hibachi that I have had in a very long time. And the seashore, I will say, had great hibachi. Although it was a Dominican man that made it, that Dominican man made some pretty good hibachi.
He knew how to make machi. He killed
Yeah,
it.
exactly. But but at least this guy was Filipino, so. But he was good. He made some great food. So that was some of the best hibachi I've had in a while. He was very entertaining in what he was doing, all the stuff he was doing. You know, cooking the food, cracking jokes, stuff like that. So gotta say the hibachi was fantastic. We did lunch rather than dinner because it was, I think, either I think it was $10 cheaper. I think it came out to $79 for the two of us total. That's after the gratuity and everything. So yeah, that's not bad at all because that's what you're gonna pay before the gratuity on Royal Caribbean for one person.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. That's, I think, $79 or it's 75 or 79 for Izumi on Royal Caribbean per person, whereas we paid what, 40, less than 40 per person. I mean,
and you got more. He made so much extra rice. I had like 3 servings.
oh, the coolest part about this too is that when you do it, you get basically they structure it to where you get like a combo portion. So you get steak and salmon, or a fillet and salmon. So you get a portion of fillet and you get a portion of salmon. Perfect, cool, but like they're full portion.
Delicious.
It was very good. Yeah, so not only was it very good, but it was also a lot of food. I mean, for the price that we paid, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Hibachi, I mean, generally, even if we go to like our local one here, they give you so much food.
Oh, Kobe's is always good,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So-
And then, but yeah, other than that, so we did that, and then I think it was it San Juan or was it St. Croix where we had where it was the French onion night that we went back to the main dining room. It was one of those 2 nights, but we went back.
St. Croix. Remember,
St.
we
Croix.
saw. That's when we saw Encore from the
Encore,
dining
yeah.
room. Lame.
Yeah, but we went back. I actually had chicken parm for my. What?
On the last night?
No, when
St.
we
Croix.
were St. Croix, yeah. But I had the French onion soup for my appetizer, and then I had the chicken parm for my entree, rather than the multiple portions of French onion soup like somebody had. But it is what it is.
He doesn't know how to eat. He doesn't get French onion soup. Lame.
I did get the French onion soup. What are you talking about?
Yeah, one.
Don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't understand.
It was good though. The French onion soup was good.
All right. Cool. Did you
And
guys
then
go
other
to
than that,
shows?
we we did Sea Day brunch as well. Those were always good. So like every Sea Day Carnival does the brunch where it's a completely different menu. They always offer the breakfast in the dining rooms and stuff like that. Like on port days, but they change up the menu and do like a special thing on Sea Day. For brunch. So it's like 8 to I think 12 or 12:30 or 1. It runs pretty late, but that was very good.
The real question is, do they still have huevos rancheros? Like that thing that everybody goes crazy about on Carnival?
I would say yes. I don't remember looking for that specifically on the menu, so I have no idea. But
hold up,
look it up. I had a ham and cheese omelet, pretty much every day. Oh, the omelets on that ship were so good. Basically, the guy in the buffet at the omelet station basically just like, the last day of the cruise, he's like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" Like him and I would just chat while he's making my omelets and stuff. We were buds. We were bros by the end of it.
Yeah, good omelet is.
Yeah.
But okay, sweet.
Yeah. The dining room staff overall were very, very good. They were very attentive, and they, helped me out, or helped us out whenever, we needed something, things like that. So, the dining room staff was very, very good and very quick. What?
Did you have an assigned table, or because it's any time they just kind of sat you anywhere?
Nope, you just check in and then they assign you a table and it's ready. So you just go up to them and say, "Oh, I'm looking for table 530," and they take you to it.
That's for the anytime dining too. They have so they split it, and Carnival does this, I think, fleet wide, because I think just about every Carnival ship does have 2 different dining rooms. But the way they do it is one, in this case, was the Marco Polo, which was just the single level on deck 3, midship. That was the assigned time dining, where if you had the 6 o'clock or the 8 o'clock, seating time, that's where you went. But for the Canal Grand, which is the one that had that big gondola in it, that's the one that we went to, and that was the assigned time dining. That's where we checked in through the app, and they would, tell us where to go.
Is that like the dining room that's usually like the 2 stories in the back of the ship with the windows?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got it.
3 and 4 afts had the giant, all the windows in the back around the side, and had the giant gondola in the middle that, is pretty much like the photo spot on the ship, which
is there actual really cool. Water in it?
No. So what they do is that they have like glass panels with LEDs underneath it to kind of give it that like aqua color, and it gives the illusion that it's sitting on water.
Got it.
It's very creative. I liked how they did that. I feel like it would have been a lot of water, especially for a dining room, to do something like that. So it was a creative way to get around that. I liked it.
Cool. You guys go to any shows after dinner?
One night we went to the comedy. I forgot what the guy's name was. He was decent. It wasn't the best comedian that we had seen. We've had some pretty good ones in the past though, but the guy was all right. I don't think we went to really any other shows other than that though.
We tried to go to the rock and roll show on one of the later days, but the whole ship was there, so we said forget it.
Yeah.
Did they have plenty of things going on, or was it just like 1 or 2 main things a night?
I mean, we didn't really I think they had things. We just didn't really pay attention. Like, they had the silent disco one night that we stumbled upon.
They did have like deck parties. For some reason, I feel like we were always so dead by the end of the days because we were waking up so early to watch ourselves come in, or just doing so much throughout the day, just filming and stuff like that. We were so dead by the time like some of these, like the deck parties usually like 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night. I'm
sounding by that.
Yeah, he was out like a light by that point.
They're made for the weak.
But yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't know how this ship was. I kind of wish, just like for the purpose of the review, I wish we would have at least gone to something. But at the same time, like, I think Royal Caribbean does have the best entertainment when it comes to their main production shows and stuff like that. Carnival's, the Glory, wasn't very good when it came to that. So, and Carnival's production shows are usually not nearly to the, the quality or the caliber that Royal Caribbean's are.
Yeah.
It doesn't make Royal Caribbean worth the price that they're paying just for those shows, but
No.
you know, but I will say they do have better shows than Carnival.
All right. Did so like even during the day, I mean, like, did they have like enough activities going on, or like was nothing really happening?
I mean, yeah, they
Like
had
a
stuff
sexy
going
grand
on.
contest or the belly flop contest, or
So they didn't have that, but like they were usually playing movies up like on the Lido deck. Like they were playing Inside Out 2. They played Despicable Me, stuff like that. Like during the days, they would play stuff, you know, and up in the pool deck and all that. You know, they'd have, you know, the little talk shows in the morning and things like that. They had like small activities, you know, randomly throughout the ship throughout the days.
Yeah. But, you know, we're not really, you know, we're there to film and stuff, so we don't really get caught up in doing a lot of that stuff. Unless we stumble upon it. Like, we saw the silent disco, we kind of hung around and...
Yeah, we hung around and kind
Or
of...
out with something.
That was interesting because it was pretty much... Well, we knew what they were playing because everybody was singing it, but it was like 3 different tracks. So there was like... There was like a huge, massive people... Yeah, exactly. There was like a huge, massive people, but they were all singing something different. So it was like, what on earth is going on right now?
Yeah.
then you can like pick out a song here and someone else starts singing something else. And...
Right, exactly. So there was like, you know, somebody was singing like Thriller while somebody else was singing like, you know, something completely like Taylor Swift, and then, you know, it was very random. Yeah. Somebody else was singing YMCA, and so it was just like, what on earth is happening right now?
That's so funny. That pool deck on that ship looks so interesting.
Oh, it was beautiful. That's got to be my favorite pool deck of any ship. It was so nice.
So like cramped, but it never looked crowded. Like, if that makes sense.
Oh,
and it never was.
It never was. That was the coolest part because up on deck 10 is of course the Lido deck. That's where the actual pool deck is. But then so you have 11, which is that middle section. That was like, you know, because of the styling and the architecture of what they did with that pool deck, that was basically like, it felt like an indoor area when you were in, you know, up on deck 11, which was really cool. You obviously weren't like, you know, you had the ocean breeze coming through. You had to look out into the pool deck and things like that. But like the way it was designed, it didn't feel like you were outside, which was cool. But then they had little balcony sections like in all 4 corners where they were out, you know, from underneath the ceiling, you know, so we were a little bit back, like pushed out into the open air section. So like there was one night, like him and I were just sitting up there. We either had like a drink and an ice cream or something like that, but we were just like sitting out there, you know, on those little balcony sections, you know, just hanging out on the pool deck. And of course, they had a retractable roof too. So there was I think 1 or 2 days where we had like a couple small showers. The weather the whole week was amazing. But there was like, I think 1 or 2 times where we just had like a small patch of like 10 minutes worth of rain. And, you know, they closed the roof for that. And so it is a retractable roof. So the colder days or the rainy days, you know, it's nice to do that too. And it never really got overly humid in there either when it was like that.
No, it didn't. It felt good.
Usually, I noticed the seashore was the same way. The humidity wasn't bad at all when it was, you know, closed. But there are some of the older ships though where, you know, the humidity gets pretty bad. It's, you know, it's hard to breathe in there just because it's, you know, it's just like like stuffy in there.
Yeah, that was on Seascape.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it was like that on Seascape?
Yeah. And the jungle pool.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Seashore, it was also like 70 was like the highest it got that whole weekend. But yeah.
Yeah, it was nice weather.
Yeah. Moving on.
But, how was the room? We skipped completely over the room. What kind of room did you guys have? Where was it? And
A deluxe ocean view suite, also known as an interior.
Also known as the interior cabin on Deck 9.
Yes, fantastic though.
So the nice part is we originally booked just like a random assignment, you know, for our interior cabin, which put us all the way at the very front of the ship and on Deck 2, which would have been awful. But
yuck.
They gave us I think we got like a $50 upgrade or something like that to move up to Deck 9. So we had deck 9. It wasn't underneath the Lido deck or like the pool deck area, so we didn't get any of the noise of it. Because usually if you're kind of midship on deck 9, at least on the Vista and the Dream class, because deck 10 midship
Yeah,
is
that's
where
a
the
big
pools are and all this, so you're going to get all the foot traffic noise, things like that at the buffet, the pool, things like that, especially deck
Then
parties.
moving the chairs at night. Don't
Right.
get people.
Right, exactly. But because we were a little bit more forward on deck 10 or deck 9, we didn't get any of that, which was nice.
Nice.
So that was good that we didn't have any like noise issues or anything like that. But it was great location though, because if you come out of the room, you just go straight down the hall. We have the secret decks with the bridge wings, and also if you just come out, we were the first cabin in from the forward elevator banks. So if we needed to go up, to the buffet, we just go up one single set of stairs and walk through that really, really nice pool deck. So it was always just nice just to, instead of going back and then up, it was always nice just to go up there and just walk through that pool deck any chance we could get, just because of, it was, I don't know, that was like my favorite pool deck of any ship. That was really nice. But, that was just like, made it really easy to get up and around the ship, and then of course, going straight down to deck 5, we were in the atrium. So that cabin's location was pretty spot on.
One point.
Nice.
Yeah. But the cabin itself, it was pretty big. I mean, it was pretty roomy in there. I mean, they split the beds up, and there was still a gap on each side of the bed and a gap down the middle. It was a interesting configuration because it had like a second desk that was like kind of in the corner a little bit on the side of the bathroom, and then of course the TV was up on there. So it was a good layout of the room, lots of storage in there. I noticed the shower was actually really big. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was nice, and it had a glass door.
Right, it was a glass door, and like, normally like you can barely put your elbows out before you start hitting, but like I couldn't fully extend obviously, but like I could definitely like go past my elbows when I was trying to like, stretch out in there. Not stretch out, but if I had plenty of room when I was inside that shower. So that was one thing I thought was really interesting and really great, was how big the shower was in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Had a nice Venetian mural as well on the back wall, which is cool.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, so,
I really felt like I was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you guys took me to Italy all week.
Yeah, we were.
Yes, that's basically where this
Buongiorno.
cruise went.
Yeah.
But
True.
I guess going into that, it's a Costa ship at heart. So I mean, did Carnival do enough to make it a Carnival ship, or is it still too Costa?
I mean, it's
Yes.
pretty Costa, but I liked it like that.
Right. So essentially, like what they did is that they didn't change anything about the ship. All the venues and the architecture, the theming, everything stayed the same. What they did is that where the burger stand usually is on the outside, there's always the burger stand outside on the pool deck. Whether it was previously on Carnival pre-Guy's Burger era or even on the Costa ships, like basically the grill where the burgers are usually always in that same spot. So what they did, obviously, all they just did is slap Guy's Burgers on it, and actually, of course, it was a real Guy's Burger joint, everything like that. So they had that. It was really nicely done. They also had, one cool thing, because it was Costa by Carnival rather than your normal one, is, Blue Iguana is very popular and everything like that on most Carnival ships. But this, we had Tomodoro, which was essentially that, but with the Italian twist. It was the same thing. You could get your Mexican themed foods, but like you could also get other different items like the meatball subs and things like that at Tomodoro, which was really interesting and cool. Same with Red Frog. There wasn't a Red Frog rum bar, but it was Rococo, I think is what the name was. But essentially the same thing, just a different name, just to give it more of that Italian feel and name, or vibe to it. Java Blue was in a different location, or but it was up on the pool deck. So overall it was Carnival, but not Carnival at the same time. It also wasn't Costa, but it was. So confusing to think about, but yeah.
So who would you recommend Like, would you compare it to like a Norwegian or a Royal, or would you compare it to more like a Carnival? Because I mean, Carnival people associate with the cheaper side of cruising, kind of more budget, or would you kind
Party
of
crowds,
push it?
cheap, things like that.
Yes, exactly.
So So if you're one of those people that are like, I'm only gonna do Royal, I'm only gonna do NCL, I don't like Carnival, things like that. I'm trying to convince my girlfriend to go on it, or at least maybe even the Firenze. But like, and she's very, she's never been on a Carnival cruise though. But she's one of those that are like, I don't think I would do Carnival, just, from the things that I've heard, And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah, like, but like it felt nothing like your average Carnival ship. It really didn't feel like any cruise line. It felt like its own unique experience within the industry, honestly. It didn't feel like Royal, it didn't feel like NCL, it didn't feel like Carnival. It was just like its own thing.
Okay. How about you, Justin?
I mean, I agree. I don't know if I really compare it to anything because even being on the ship and having the Carnival stuff, it didn't feel like Carnival, except for like the
Right.
ship layout. But
Right.
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think that's what made it unique. I think that's why people like it.
right.
It's different.
Right. Like everything it's the same thing that you're going to get on every Carnival ship. If it's not, if the name didn't change, like, if, Guy's Burger, obviously for name recognition carried over. Same with the Seafood Shack. Pizzeria, instead of Pizza Pirate, it was Pizzeria del Capitano. They have,
Was it the same pizza or was it different?
it was a little different, but it was kind of the same.
It's still in the back corner there on the
Yeah, same, yeah,
side.
exactly. But things like they had, instead of Cucina del Capitano for the Italian restaurant, it was El Viaggio, basically the same thing. Instead of the Alchemy Bar, it was Amari, same thing as the Alchemy Bar, though. Basically the same, maybe just a little bit different, maybe a couple different drinks, but nothing that I really noticed. They had the Heroes Bar, like the veterans themed bar, things like, so that carried over. So it was either basically the same thing or just slightly altered, or it was the same thing as, something that you would find on most Carnival ships. Like Limelight Lounge, basically the same thing, found in the same location, all of that. You know.
All right.
It definitely, like Justin mentioned, like the layout too. It felt like a Carnival ship because it is the
Yeah,
Vista
I mean, they're all the
class.
same.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically a Vista class with some slight alterations to it, but nothing
I was gonna say,
overly
Justin,
crazy.
you hadn't been on Vista before, right? Yes, no, maybe so.
Who? Me?
No, Maria down the street. Yes, you.
Oh, I thought you were talking to
Bring
Brandon.
it down the street.
I've toured Vista and Horizon, but I haven't sailed. I've sailed on like Magic and Breeze.
Okay, yeah, those are similar. Okay, right. Did they still have like the red frog, blue frog cantina, whatever it's called? Blue iguana?
No, so that I mentioned that like 5 seconds ago. What the heck? But so
Really?
yeah,
I thought
yes
you were
and
talking
no.
about something else.
Yes and no. So basically, instead of Blue Iguana, you had Tomodoro, which was essentially the same thing, but you also got a bit of an Italian part to it. So like, instead of just your typical stuff that you normally would get, at Blue Iguana, you could also get things like a meatball sub.
Okay, I remember that part.
The
Okay,
Red
sorry.
Red Frog Rum Bar was Rococo, basically the same thing. It was
Got
just
it.
Italian themed.
Okay.
Guy's Burger
That
Joint
was
did
okay.
Guy's Burger Joint did have, I think, one or two special ones. I think
Mhm.
I think you could get like pepperoni, like on your burgers. I think is what it was. It was like a pepperoni burger almost. So
I heard someone order it. So yeah, it was like a.
So my
They
they
question
also had a
is,
special burger that they were advertising. It was a celebration key. I don't remember exactly. I think it was maybe the Rum Runner or something like that. But it was like a celebration key themed burger, or it was kind of like thrown into like the advertising of it. So that was a new menu item for Guy's Burger Joint, and I think that I would assume that's fleet wide. I don't think that was just a Venezia exclusive like that. That pepperoni one was.
what do you call it? Can you still order a whole pizza, or do you still can order like 1 or 2 slices?
Oh, I think somebody here ordered a whole pizza like every day.
All right.
Oh, listen here. I ordered 3 slices once, and he goes, "Just take 4." I said, "Okay."
Is 4 the whole pizza?
Yeah, like whatever. That's fine. They're little mini pizzas. Don't let Brandon make me look bad.
That's
I
a
did
shame.
eat a lot, though. I'm not gonna lie. I ate a lot of food on this cruise.
Pookie's got to fit into his
you can do
his
that.
suit for his wedding, so I made him walk up and down the stairs. We didn't take the elevators.
Rachel
so-
told me I looked like I lost weight. Considering I walked up and down all those stairs all week, I probably did.
You're welcome for that.
Elevators.
I know Rachel's in the background. You're welcome for that.
She's killing people, so she's busy right now.
Was she playing COD?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Classic.
Call of Duty,
Classic.
baby.
Right, babe? Playing Call of Duty? She said, "Yup, I'm on top." That's my fiance, everybody. She's a killer. She's a killer.
God, Alexis and I just play Mario Kart together. Sheesh.
Yeah, don't mess with Rachel. She'll kill you.
I'm sure I'll take your word for it.
Please do. Please help. Help me. Help.
I bet you Justin gets his butt kicked in COD by his fiance.
I used to, and now I'm pretty good. She can't stand up to me, right?
Hmm.
She taught me well.
Don't know if I believe it. But yeah.
Hello.
But speaking of the elevators, though, getting back on topic though, because
Small elevators.
we did use the elevators sometimes, but you know, I made him walk a bunch, which was good. But
A lot.
they did have destination elevators similar to what they've rolled out on the Royal Caribbean ships recently, and so obviously
Very good.
Icons appear to be the gold standard of the industry right now because of how good they are. Utopias were decent, not great, but decent. Then you've got the other end of the spectrum, that was the MSC Seashore, that said your elevator will be here in 10 seconds and 5 minutes later it's still not there. So I will have to say this definitely leans towards the Royal Caribbean side of quality of those destination elevators. They were actually very good, very fast, and never really had an issue with crowding either, all that often at least. So got to say the
Cool.
elevators were good. The few times that we used them.
Nice.
Very
nice.
few.
So in the back of the ship, where there's the Havana, so what is that considered? Is that like a place for everybody to go now?
No.
So that
Only at
was the Terraza Carnival, I think is what it was called.
Okay.
But essentially during the day, it's the exact same thing. You still have the cabanas. It's the same exact thing. The only thing is there's no pool. So in the Vista class, I guess the Carnival Vista class ships, you've got a pool in the center and you got a hot tub on each side of that. And you even have like the little humps on that ducktail where they protrude out a little bit. But with these, it's just flat, curve. Flat curve. That didn't make sense, but you get the idea. But
Sure.
Sure.
but instead of the pools and hot tubs along the back part there, it's just chairs and sofas and things like that. There are 2 hot tubs, but that's it. But they're kind of tucked into the corners against the back wall. So they do have hot tubs back there. But it seemed to be open at night for the general public, but during the day it was obviously exclusive to those who were in those cabanas in that terraza type stateroom. It was a very nice area though. Kind of miss having the pool and the overall Havana theming. I thought Havana was cooler when it came to theming, but it was a good area and it was really nice.
Nice. Did was like the service like kind of carnival-ish, or were they kind of nicer?
Oh yeah, the crew were very nice, very fast. I mean, I didn't have any issues with crew members.
No.
Okay,
No,
that's good.
it was nice.
Mhm. Definitely the opposite. Sorry, MSC. Whoever you have on the seashore right now, that was some of the seashore had some pretty rude pretty rude crew members, at least compared to what you would find typically on most ships. But this was a complete 180. This has probably got to be the best crew, best staff, everything has got to be on this ship. I mean, they did a good job. They took really good care of that ship too. That was, again, going back to, I never really found this to be an issue, but some people like to complain about this, but some people say that Carnival ships, especially the older ones, are run down, feeling rusty, nasty, gross. Again, I don't think that, but apparently some people do. But this has got to be one of the cleanest and most well-maintained ships I have ever been on, and that I would, when it came to how good a shape the ship was in, I would put it right next to Utopia and Icon when they were 2 to 3 weeks old.
They were always cleaning. There was always people out cleaning stuff, which was great. Wiping down railing, vacuuming.
Yep.
They were
good.
Carpets were
Normally it was going around, so I feel like it's
that too.
True.
Yeah. You don't have to tell me twice. I figured that out the hard way. But yeah, I mean, they were always cleaning. The carpets were spotless. They were always vacuuming those carpets. They were always cleaning. They were always wiping down the handrails. The windows were always super clean. It was funny. I noticed that, obviously it could just be a chemical because, Dimitri and I are car people. And so we know like certain chemicals, obviously will prevent the hard water spots from, sea salt and just, limestone, things like that you would get in water. So it could have been something as simple as that. But like every cruise ship, obviously, because of the sea salt and all the water, there's going to be water spots all over the windows. Even the windows were super clear. I didn't even notice water spots on the windows. That's how, that's the level of detail and, level of cleanliness that they went to on this ship. It was amazing. I just expect there to be water spots and salt all over the windows. There wasn't. You're on a ship out in the middle of the ocean. It's just kind of normal, but even that wasn't a thing. I mean, if and when Costa gets that ship back, I mean, they're going to get something that, I mean, they're taking extremely good care of that ship.
Good. And I guess that kind of segues into my last question. Should Carnival take in more of these and make them costified ships?
Yeah.
Or do you think 1, 2, maybe 3 and keep it like that?
They should definitely keep what they have. I think they should take the Excel ones too. Forget Costa.
So, the answer I want to say is yes, keep them around, but the answer of the plans that it seems, at least at the moment, that they're planning to send them back still. Because they did the conversion the way they did rather than what they did with Luminosa, where they made it a full Carnival transfer, painted the funnel, everything like that, even though these have more Carnival things going on than the Luminosa does, but whatever. But they set these ships up to be sent back is essentially what it is, and that seems to be the plan. Although, after my experience on the Venezia, I would riot the day they send these back, because one, that is probably one of my favorite ships, even next to Mardi Gras, that is one of my favorite ships in the fleet right now is the Venezia, and it seems like they've set them both up to go back to Costa when they bring in the 2 new XL ships in 27 and 28. So, would I like for them to keep them? Yes. Would I like for them to do that with more ships? Yeah, I think if they brought the Smeralda over, I'd be all for it. I'd be on it in a heartbeat. So, it would be cool if they brought more over. It would be amazing if they kept these, but it doesn't seem like that's their plan, but things can always change.
Yeah, we hope, since you guys are giving it such high praise. But yeah, I'm very interested that it was you guys thought it was a good idea, that they should do more. I mean, I've heard mixed reviews on them, especially on Luminosa, but on Firenze and
Luminosa is a different story. Luminosa is, I mean, they did better with the Costa by Carnival rather than just the Luminosa, which was just a true Carnival ship at this point. They did better with the Costa by Carnival ships, honestly. Like at first, it was kind of mixed. Like there were some people that were like, "Oh, I don't really know," not really what I expected out of a Carnival cruise. But then, obviously, like especially on this crowd where it was a lot of platinum cruisers, you know what you're getting. Like when you're platinum with Carnival, like when you book to Venezia, you're booking it because you know that you're going on something different when you're getting on that ship. So obviously, as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, you're not expecting a crazy, rowdy, rambunctious party crowd and cheap Carnival cruise. As long as you're not expecting that, and you're expecting something, you're expecting the Italian theme, the laid back environment and things like that, you're going to love the ship. As long as you know what you're getting into, you're going to really like it. Awesome. Again, next to Mardi Gras, it's my favorite ship in the fleet, hands down.
Nice. Well, like I was saying, glad you guys had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
We did. It was fantastic.
Yes. I would say on a scale of 10, I'd say out of 10, nothing's going to be a perfect 10, but I would give it a 9.5. I'd give it a solid 9.5. Really, the only issue I like Justin mentioned, and I feel like, that could also just be the crowd or type, but the lines getting back onto the ship, we also were during peak times, so maybe that had a little bit of time or a little bit of factor into it, but sometimes it took maybe 10-ish minutes, 15 minutes or so to get back on the ship, which isn't awful, but at the same time, it's sometimes it's nice just to walk right on, without even having to wait.
Yeah.
With
weird.
that. And then because it was such an older crowd than typical, the buffet was also always just packed, at 6 and 7 a.m.
About the buffet food, quickly.
Oh, buffet food?
Yay.
Bomb. 10 out of 10.
Your chicken sandwiches look really good.
So get the buffalo chicken sandwich from the deli. It's so good.
You said buffalo?
Buffalo chicken, yes. But they put the buffalo sauce on the side, but the sandwich itself was pretty spicy, though, by itself. So,
I love that.
But yeah, they had a lot of options at the deli. It seemed like dinner options were always just the same thing every night. I either would grab a guy's burger right before it closed at 6, or would go to the deli. They didn't have anything appealing. Carnival, I've noticed, usually in comparison to Royal usually has a really good buffet for dinner, whereas Carnival usually their emphasis on the main dining room. There's really not a whole lot of options at night.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Solid 9.5 out of 10, though, I would say. Other than the two very small and really insignificant things, just because nothing's perfect, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Or a 9.5 out of 10.
Great review from Brandon. Now, how about Justin?
Probably give it a 9. It was good. There really wasn't anything to complain about. The things that we're complaining about are small and insignificant, and I think we're just used to the way Royal does things, and they just have different crowds. But it was great. No major complaints. 2 thumbs up.
Yes, 2 thumbs up from both of us. So 4 thumbs up.
We love to hear that.
But yeah.
Awesome.
So anyways, anything else before we start to wrap things up here?
I'm good. I'm jealous of you guys that you guys got to be on a cruise while I was at work, but
yeah,
we still got plenty of years and plenty of cruises to do.
Yes, I would have to say I would 100% do the ship again, or I would go out of my way to go to Long Beach to get on the Firenze. Absolutely.
That's a long way out of your way.
I know. That's the thing, is I would go all the way out there for that. It was great. But anyways, with that, I hope you guys all enjoyed the review. Hopefully you found this helpful if any of you guys are sailing on her soon. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for listening, watching, and we'll see you back next week for another episode. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Peace.